Hi, Ann. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Um, Hanging in there. It's a beautiful day. Baseball season is started again, so I'm happy about that. And here we are doing another one. For those people who are just joining us, perhaps for the first time, what the hell is wrong with you? Why haven't you been following us all along?
Well, there's that.
This is Ask Eddie and Ann, and I am Eddie Muller, the founder and president of the Film Noir Foundation and host of Turner Classic Movies Noir Alley. We kind of talk about things noir with Ann Hawkins, the
And I'm
director of communications for the Film Noir Foundation, and handles all of our social media and more, our press relations and everything else. And yeah, we keep you busy, right, Ann?
yes, yes, you do. And I like it. So it's good. It works for me.
It's good. I was very excited. You contacted me this week. It's funny because now people are contacting me through this thing, the Film Noir Foundation and stuff, through you for stuff that is not related to this or anything else at all. So I was very excited though that this woman, I'm going to talk to her on Friday, who's doing a biography of Paul Auster, who the late Paul Auster, sadly, who is my favorite author. And since I did an interview with him that was in the Noir City magazine, I guess this woman saw that, and so she wants to interview me for Paul's bio, which I think is quite an honor. I got a little bit emotional about that because I had such a fond relationship with the guy, but never actually met him in person. We just corresponded, over the phone and in
Yeah.
emails and stuff. The occasional Zoom call, which we did interviews and things publicly, but we never actually met. So I'm honored to be part of his biography. If I say anything intelligent,
I'm sure you will. I have
we'll
faith
see.
in you.
We'll see.
Oh.
How have you been this week?
Good, good. Yeah, the cats have completely settled in, which is really nice. And when I woke up at 1:30 this morning, they were very excited and came and played with me. And I think that's Lino's tail that you saw there briefly.
Okay,
So there you go. Tail,
there.
tail,
Yeah.
tail, tail. And
Okay, we're
he's going the same path his brother took before we started recording.
okay. Lino's gonna want like billing on the show pretty soon. I can tell. It's like Eddie and Ann and Lino
And Bruno.
and Bruno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Bruno
Okay.
will want if Lino has it. They're kind of
Okay.
like
Very
that. If
good.
one of them's doing something, then the other one comes immediately. And like if one of them's getting attention from me, then the other one immediately comes running over too to see what's going on.
That's double your pleasure. That's good. I
I
love it.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, if you're watching on YouTube, if you can like the video, subscribe to our channel would be nice, and share. That's always cool. And comment. All that stuff's really good for our algorithm stuff.
Yeah. All that kind of jazz.
All that
And then
jazz.
it's funny. I guess this is like social media and stuff. I just think of it like our regular get together to talk about stuff. I have no idea what happens to all of this after we finish. But on that note, maybe we should just get
Why
started.
don't we get started here? Okay, so this is from Ron. Eddie mentioned wanting to go to classes. I have a suggestion. Osher Lifetime Learning Institute, San Francisco State, in person and online. I attend only at UNC Asheville. No commitments, no test. If you can't attend a class, no big deal. And maybe I even have a question. Will you, meaning me, and or Eddie be attending the Silent Film Festival? Will there be any proto-noirs that Eddie might be introducing? I will be there and be especially interested in how the Castro looks.
Okay. I don't know at this point if I'm okay. Let's back up. Okay, the Osher Lifetime Learning. That would be great fun. Have you ever done any like extended adult education or any of that kind of stuff?
No,
Uh,
I mean, I did a yoga class one time, which was really fun.
yeah.
Except it was next to the weight room, so it wasn't a gym. So I'm in the gym in the weight room, and I think it was a football team was in there lifting weights. It was driving me insane because they kept dropping the weights. If you have to drop the weight, you can't handle the weight.
Yeah, that's dropping it. That's just a showboating tactic by some of these guys. Like,
Yeah,
I ripped it, and I drop it. Oh,
yeah, no.
I don't think that was exactly the kind of class that Ron was talking about. But
No.
I mean, I've done a few of those in my time, and I've taught a few of those in my time. But now, speaking of time, there is none. So I have no. There's no way I would ever be able to do anything like this because
Yeah.
it's just my schedule is just ridiculous. And I think when I mentioned I'd love to go back to school and take classes, my reason for saying that was because I think of it as just such an incredible luxury
Mm-hmm.
to just be able to go and learn stuff with no, I mean, there's no time commitment or there's no, you're not doing it for any other reason than learning itself,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is just fantastic. I don't really think of that as a luxury, but I do think of the time spent doing that would be luxurious,
Mm-hmm.
and I would really enjoy it. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Are you going to the Silent Festival in San Francisco?
Yes, I am. I am planning on going. It's like I'll get back from LA from TCM that Monday and it starts on Wednesday. So I won't be taking time off to go to it, but I'll be like, I bet I can get to some evening screenings. And I want to go to the Laurel and Hardy on Saturday morning,
Great, great, great,
which is
great.
always my favorite thing. My dad loved Laurel and Hardy, and so do I. So I always like to go to those.
Well, that's our colleagues at Flickr Alley who do all our Blu-rays of our restorations and everything. They are the ones who put out all those Laurel and Hardy films these days. So that's great. I hope I'll be able to go. It's a little up in the air right now, and that's why I could not. I don't know exactly what they're screening, and I advised them quite a while ago that I probably wouldn't be able to introduce anything this year. I used to do it every year.
Yeah.
I used to always write, and Anita, who is the programmer there, uh, Anita Manga, there always used to be like a proto-noir film that she would save for me
Yeah.
to write the program notes for and then introduce at the festival, which was always so much fun and so gratifying. I've had some great experiences doing that, but lately it's tricky. And you'll notice that there are so many great festivals on the West Coast that we all kind of are aware of each other and have to plot out the timing so we don't collide with each other. So TCM kind of mixed everything up this year by
Yeah.
scheduling the festival a lot later than it normally runs, which kind of forced the Silent Film Festival to maneuver a little bit so there wasn't a conflict. I may have to stay in LA after the TCM festival to do some other film related work down there for a couple of documentary films that I'm involved in, and so I don't know if I'll be back in time for the Silent Fest, but I would love to attend. It's one of the great festivals. It'll be interesting to see what people think. With them going back into the Castro.
Yeah, and I'm kind of interested to see the Castro because for people that don't know, my day job, I work for design engineers, and they did the design for electrical, plumbing, mechanical for the restoration.
For the restoration of
Yeah,
the venue. Yeah.
so I'm going to go and flush the toilets and check the air conditioner. We'll see if
Okay,
the
very
sound
good.
blows.
You'll do a building
I'll
inspection
do
while
my
you're
building
there.
inspection.
Okay, very good. Very good. Well, maybe I will see you there.
Hopefully so. But
Uh,
I'm really looking forward to it. And just let people know we usually every year, even if Eddie doesn't introduce anything, we usually co-present one or two films every year. So and we'll be chatting about that on our social media account and our news page. So
yeah,
anyway,
they're very good friends and colleagues of ours, and we
absolutely.
support the Silent Film Festival 100%. Okay, here's our buddy Joe in Suffolk County, New York, weighs in, and he notes that, oh, wow, John Bankston, writer of books and blogs identifying the shooting locations of silent comedies, he died. He did indeed die on January 29th, 2026. In his New York Times obituary, he is quoted as having said, "When you watch a silent movie, you're not only being entertained by the story, but you're experiencing time travel." Uh, the same can be said of film noir. What movies make your favorite use of location shooting? What locations were used most often? It's interesting. I didn't think that's where Joe was going with this question necessarily. I do want to just pay my respects to John, who was a lovely, lovely guy. I actually met John years ago at Robert Osborne's film festival in Athens, Georgia. It was a festival that Robert did himself. It was not connected to TCM in any way. And that's where I first met John, and we would see each other, fairly regularly over the years. And he was such a sweet guy and such a lover of movies and everything. It was, remarkable chronicler of all of this stuff. But it's interesting, I thought where he was going with the time travel thing. I mean, that's not limited to silent films or film noir. That's kind of what movies are about, right? I mean, I think so. I mean, it's as close as we've gotten to time travel, right?
Yeah, and I've really enjoyed like rewatching stuff that I originally saw before I lived in San Francisco. Like it was really fun to see the conversation and Dirty Harry again because he used such great location work. And Nathan and I on Friday, the Roxy's having their anniversary, so they're doing the Invasion from the Body Snatchers from the '70s. It's set in San Francisco, and I'm really pumped to see that film up, especially up on the big screen, see San Francisco. And then I can also a lot of times like I'll be flipping channels on TV, and I'll stop and go, "Oh, that's London." I mean, it's not like a landmark or anything. It'll just be the way the streets look and stuff. So I
Sure.
really love seeing, and I love seeing things in places that I've lived in different times, too. It's kind of incredible, like seeing the San Francisco's the silent film they have of it, right? Like it's like
Oh,
the ride,
the trip down Market Street.
trip down Market Street, and it was like right
Yeah.
before the big earthquake and fires. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty amazing.
But it's interesting that I think of, I'm kind of think of this question, Joe's question, in two parts. It's the travel aspect and the time aspect. Because sometimes I don't feel like um, the, the travel stuff is just like, yeah, movies can sometimes be a travel log, and it's beautiful to see these places, and there's a fabulous historical record. But I don't think you can time travel unless it's like the perfect setup. You don't necessarily get that time travel effect watching stuff on television or streaming or something. I mean, I think you
Yeah,
kind of have to be in a movie theater, and you have to be totally immersed
yeah. I mean,
in
I think
the environment.
Barry Lyndon's like the perfect
Yeah.
example of that
Yeah.
because it's so detailed too, and there isn't anything out of place or out of time. And then of course, shooting it with all ambient lighting, so the way it looked and everything about that film that, it's just so it is, you really feel like you're back in I think that's one of the most effective, like sort of time travel films that I've
That's
seen.
exactly what I mean. It's like the director is making a conscious effort to use cinema to transport you into a different world,
Yeah.
a totally different world. Like Kubrick's obsession with like using no electric light.
Yeah.
in the movie because electricity had not been invented yet
Yeah.
is pretty extraordinary, you know?
Yeah. And it's really
Uh,
effective. And I got to see that in 70 millimeter at the Castro. And that's one of my best film experiences.
yeah, it's pretty remarkable. But I have to confess, I have the same experience reading books,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's only when you can totally immerse yourself in the experience that it feels like time travel because there, and you know that it's working when either you stop reading or you stop watching and you feel like you're waking up.
Yeah.
You feel like you're waking up from the experience, which is really extraordinary. It's
Well,
also something. Go ahead.
I see, but I think sometimes a TV series can do that. Like there's this film I watched, or Korean TV series I watched, Our Blues, which was set in a very I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the city in Korea, but it's on the ocean. And they did such a great job of world building in it that it was like visiting there.
Yeah.
And it was so much, and it was a small community of people who all knew each other and all had this history together and stuff like that. So it felt so real and immersive in that. And it just had a really, they just did a really good job of making it I don't know, it's all very natural.
Mm-hmm.
And you really believe that these people have been friends forever, and you got to see like how these people, because they're all kind of in different parts of harvesting fish and seafood, and the people who sold it, and the guy who had his stand, and the woman that made a bunch of money from it and owned a cafe, and then the people
Mm-hmm.
that got away from there and the people that stayed. And I don't know, so I felt like really like I was really living in this little town with everybody. It was really
Well,
well done.
and I think part of the effect, I think, and I'm sorry, Joe, if I'm running afield of your question here, but I think part of the, well, I've been thinking about this lately for
Yeah.
various reasons, and I think part of the, you have to be a good watcher of films in order to get the maximum out of the movie. It's if you're just watching to see like, well, what's going to happen next, you're not going to experience what Joe is talking about, like this time travel thing. So I've luckily been able to sometimes watching a movie, especially a noir film, and because I'm doing this book right now with Imogen Sarah Smith on noir around the world, a lot of the stories have so much in common that I'm not watching these films for the plot
Yeah.
necessarily. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Uh, but you're able to just pay attention to the world that's being presented to you, and just being able to immerse yourself in the background, the settings where these things take place, and it's a fabulous. It is like time travel, and I kind of worry that as things keep reducing, like watching on your screen at home, watching on your phone, there's no possibility of that at all. You can't immerse yourself in a film on your phone. You're
No.
just you're
Oh,
just a lot of people are just collecting these films in order to then be able to talk about them or share a thought or something about them, but not in any substantive way. There we go. There's an appearance. I see a cat ear, two cat
yes.
ears.
This is
Is that
Lino,
that's Lino? Okay, Lino.
my little
Lino's got the
compact.
big jaw. He's got to have a big jaw if he's Lino.
When he's got that compact, powerful body.
Oh, there you go. That would be Lino.
That's why he's Lino. And then Bruno is taller, kind of bulkier, the way Bruno Krimmer is.
There you go.
So
Anyway, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I also recently rewatched just because I made a passing reference to this film writing about another movie, uh, and Chris Marker's La Jetée,
Uh-huh.
and that's like the greatest time travel movie ever, and it's only like 20 something minutes long, and it's all still photographs. And I know that the hardcore movie fans, cinema fans who are watching this know the film I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But if people don't, I would suggest to take 30 minutes out of your life and watch La Jetée, which was later remade as 12 Monkeys by Terry Gilliam. But I love what he did with that film and how he got into your head and made you comprehend the whole idea of time travel. Spending, I think that whole movie must have cost about $400 to make, or something. It's all still photographs except for one legendary slight moving shot. But I absolutely love it. So anyway, there you go. The time travel aspects of art are very important to me, Joe. So I'm sorry if I got a field there, because we didn't talk about location shooting at all.
No.
But I'll just throw one out and just say Thieves Highway is a great one for me, because all of the produce market in San Francisco in 1949, when Jules Dassin shot the film there, it's all gone. It's the Golden Gateway Center, and it looks nothing like that. There are no trains coming in or nothing. And so, yeah, to be able to watch that today and feel like, wow, I'm traveling back in time to, when San Francisco is a blue collar town, not a white collar town. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I also, and in general, I think people will find this most effective. Their time travel will be most effective when it's a location they're familiar with.
Yeah, because for me, I was thinking like Night in the City, and as I said before, rewatching these San Francisco films since I've lived here has also really changed that. And for me, anything in London is always very evocative for me.
Yeah, yeah. Like Woman on the Run is a big one for me.
That's a great,
because it's just a travel log of San Francisco that I just barely remember, right? Because the movie was shot like 8 years before I was born, but most of the places that are in that film still existed when I was a kid. Oh. So I recognize them, but they're long gone now. Okay, we're never going to get through this with these long-winded answers. Yes. So let's see if we can get ourselves to a lightning round pretty soon. Okay.
And this is a question from Brian from Willamette, Illinois. And I wanted to apologize because I just found this email today and I had put it somewhere else. And so the question part that he left had never gotten answered. So thanks to my browsing the Kino Lorber site, I came across the movie Diva. I was pleasantly surprised. At times, it felt like a crime thriller with the Hitchcock and neo-noir elements. There's a scene in Diva that takes place in a wet, drippy, abandoned multi-story factory. Placed inside the factory are several white mannequins, staged and posed there intentionally by one of the characters. When I saw this, my jaw dropped. I was struck by how much this reminded me of the character Sebastian's residence in the movie Blade Runner. Diva was released in 1981, while Blade Runner was released a year later in 1982. The similarities of these two scenes seem much too close to be coincidental. Do either of you know if Ridley Scott ever mentioned that certain aspects of Diva influenced any part of Blade Runner? Would either of you consider Diva a neo-noir?
I'm tempted to guess Brian's age from this question. Yeah. Because I know he's younger than me. But then everybody is these days. But I am certain that Jean-Jacques Benex, who directed Diva, was using those mannequins and all that stuff intentionally, because everything in Diva is borrowed from other films. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the point of that movie's existence. It's like Benex was clearly paying homage to all these classic noir films in what was a super stylized, operatic neo-noir. I remember I've only seen the film once. I saw it when
Yeah.
it came out, and and I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch, but it didn't feel like anything I needed to go back and watch again.
But do
You
you
know,
think, sorry, do you think though that with the mannequin things that he might the Diva director might have been influenced by the Kubrick film?
absolutely. No,
I mean, I think that's
that's
probably where that
that's what
came
I'm
from.
saying. I'm saying
Yeah,
that
that's where that's
two
where, yeah.
there are two big mannequin scenes in classic film noir. It's Killer's Kiss, Kubrick's Killer's Kiss, and
Thank
Blake
you.
Edwards' Experiment in Terror
Oh yeah,
have mannequin scenes in them, and I'm sure those are the things that Ben X is referencing in Diva. And
yeah,
also, the thing you have to bear in mind, Brian, is uh, when when movies are like a year apart like that, it's very hard for somebody to steal, just because of the way the release dates don't correspond to the productions
yeah.
in any way. So I'm certain, number one, I'm certain that Ridley Scott would say, even if he did steal it directly, he would never fess up to it. And he would say, no, I had absolutely no bearing on what I was doing. That was my own clever idea, blah, blah, blah. Um, but it's also quite possible that he had not seen Diva, and it's not like stop the presses. We're going to change everything to do this scene in a mannequin. With it just doesn't really work that way. If it was 3 years later, yeah, you could conceivably say he's noting that. Did you've seen Diva?
Yeah, I mean, but I haven't seen it since the first since I saw it. I mean, I saw it in the theater when it came out, and I have not seen it since then.
I know. No,
So
no, nor have I.
I have a really vague recollection of it, and then that's like, yeah,
Yeah, it was for that time, that early 80s time, it was like this super hip trendy
yeah,
thing. And it was very amusing, but um I just felt like the director was doing such a pastiche,
yeah,
which he did again in I think it was Moon in the Gutter.
yeah.
He did an adaptation of a David Goodis
Mm-hmm.
novel, and again, it's so very much like Coppola's One from the Heart. They're very artificial, stagey. Like we all know we're watching a movie, and and I found the films not particularly engaging, amusing, but not engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. That was not a thing that I immersed myself in
Yeah.
the way I do some other films. And I'm not saying it. I'm not trying to be hugely critical of these movies because I did enjoy Diva when I was watching it, but I think I forgot everything about it like 2 days later.
Yeah, I hear you. You want to do
Okay.
question 4?
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. And this is our buddy Ken in Oklahoma says, is there at least one film noir that either of you watched one or more times on TV or home video that felt noticeably different on the big screen? And Ken says he had that reaction to Casablanca after seeing it several times on home video before catching it in the theater and feeling like I was watching it for the first time. This is an easy answer for me. That's every movie.
Mm-hmm.
Every movie is different on a big screen than on a small screen, and I would venture to say that they are all better
Mm-hmm.
on a big screen.
Yeah.
For all the see previous question about immersion in the film. You're not going to get that on a television the way you get that in a movie theater. The only one I have cited, somewhat notoriously, I think, as is Detour, as
Mm-hmm.
being a film that the effect of watching Detour alone in your room at 3 o'clock in the morning on TV, not on video or streaming or anything, just like it was broadcast on TV, it is a pretty great way to experience that movie. But not at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It has to be 3 a.m. It has to be the dead of night where you're watching that at home. And then it's pretty hard to beat that, because Detour is also a film that you don't necessarily want to or need to see in a beautiful, completely restored version. The junkier it looks, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I think sometimes too, especially if a film is kind of like, I mentioned this film before, this film called Scalpel, which I saw when CBS used to run really cool, weird things like late at night, and I watched that, and it was such a like weird ass film and stuff like that. And, honestly, it's kind of one of those things, it kind of stayed with me to the point where I thought, did this actually happen? And then when I saw it, the cover of it at a video store, there was like this random video of it. I was like, oh my God, that's that film. And I finally got it. It finally got a nice release and I bought it. But I'm kind of glad the first time I saw it was that way, because plus it was just like kind of shocking in a lot of ways. So
yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Expecting like to see on network television, even if it was, past prime time.
Well, there's something, okay, I guess there's something to be said about that, because it's like, Cronenberg's Videodrome.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain Videodrome quality to seeing something like, am I actually seeing this? When you're home and it's on your television set, and I think it's important that you have to stumble across it.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than choosing to watch it. Because it's like, is this actually happening? Who's broadcasting this? Is this like pirate TV? What in the world is this? It's funny. I just last week on TCM, I showed Who Killed Teddy Bear.
Yes, I was very excited you showed that.
Yeah. And I was telling people, I had to explain, when I first saw that movie, it was out of nowhere, like late at night on television, out of nowhere. And it was like, I can never get that impression of the movie out of my mind. I mean, even though, you go on and you learn more about it and all this kind of stuff, you're still left with that initial, oh my God, this is creepy. I can't believe they're actually showing this on TV. This is so perverted. So I tried to convey that all in my introduction to the film. And I honestly think, I haven't really checked social media or anything, but I would be very surprised if people weren't, even today in 2026, a little taken aback by how pervy that movie is. There's a quality to it that in 1970, whatever, when I saw that film on TV, it was like, how did this make it on television?
Yeah. All right. This is Howard from Silver Springs, Maryland. Many films have a pivotal plot twist often midway through the movie or near the end. Some are justly famous, such as She's Not Really Dead, but we were told she was. Without giving too much away, what films have you most and least favorite, have your most and least favorite unexpected plot twists? Do any ruin the movie for you? For example, if it was only
a dream. It was only a dream. I'm going to think about. Do you have one? I'm going to let you go first.
It's so funny because, like, when I saw this question, the first thing I thought about was Agatha Christie novels, because she either did certain twists first, or it was the most impactful time. So that question, but then, it was hard for me. And so then I was like, okay, well, yeah, but try and think about movies, not books.
Yeah.
And that's a different thing, because a lot of times, because sometimes the twists are bad, or you're just going.
Well, I mean, some of these are pretty obvious, I mean, there are movies that are legendary just because of those twists, right? I mean, right off the top of my head, I would say that the two movies that probably have the most effective shock twists are Les Diaboliques, right?
Yeah,
Clouseau's film, which I really don't think anybody sees the twist coming
I did not.
in that film,
Yeah.
and it's just perfectly realized, and it's kind of joined at the hip is Psycho,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah,
Where nobody in 1960 had any freaking idea where that movie was going.
yeah.
So the twist is genuinely shocking. I don't know if it remains that way for audiences today because the films achieve such legendary status that I think everybody knows going in what the twist is, right?
Yeah.
But as for ones that fall flat, um, it's almost, and I feel bad because this is spoiler territory. We were able to talk about those two films without spoiling anything, but to say, oh, this one was terrible because it was only a dream, uh, there are some of those. I'm almost hesitant to cite them. I mean, there's one obvious one, a famous film noir by Fritz Lang
Yeah.
that has the "it was all a dream" ending. But in some ways, I so admire the way that's revealed in the movie.
Yeah, that didn't bother me in that movie. That didn't disappoint me at all.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that it was like, oh, they did that really well. Now we're teasing the audience. There's a film called a neo quote unquote neo noir called Night of the Following Day
Yeah.
that has a final twist that I'm not quite sure it actually works.
Yeah.
It felt more like a 1960s art house way of getting out of a movie where they couldn't really figure out how they actually wanted to end the film.
Yeah.
So that's one of those. Oh, was this all just a dream? Or there are the movies that are like the Mobius strip movies, where it's like you go through the whole thing and then it ends up right back at the beginning,
Yeah.
and now the whole thing is going to start over again. Sometimes those can be good.
Agatha Christie actually did that in one of her novels. It's another one that has a really good twist, but then it sort of sinks back to the beginning.
Yeah, yeah,
And
and ends up back at the beginning.
Yeah, and it's really good though. Oh god, that's one of my it's I'll just because I didn't give away what the twist is, but Endless Night, and it's my favorite Christie novel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just wanted to do a quick thing. One film where I hated the twist ending was it's on Netflix, and it's an Italian film called, I think it's called like a horror story. And it was like really pretty engaging all the way through. And then the ending was so stupid that I was just like, it just ruined the whole film. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just such a dumb twist. And it was just like, really, this is because it had a bunch of good reviews, which is why I watched it. And I was like, that ending just killed it for me.
I feel that sometimes the filmmakers, they're compelled to go one step too far, and I like a story that I believe in the characters. I find what they go through compelling. I hope it's compelling, and then whatever their fate is, that's enough. I'm satisfied. I don't need the last twist. And I feel that especially in horror movies, it's like it became a thing. I guess starting with, well, it probably didn't start with Carrie, but Carrie was a film where it was like we have to have
Oh, yeah, I
we
did.
got to keep
Yeah.
going. We
And
got to
I
go
don't
one more step further,
and I didn't think that really worked either.
No.
That little end bit didn't really work for me.
And that kind of stuff is always kind of silly to me. And
Well, and also, I mean, well, I
one
guess
film.
and I think because like if I think about the endings of two other horror films, like the ending of Halloween, when Loomis looks back and nothing's there on the ground. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Have
I
you
don't.
ever?
You know, and then sorry, and then Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where nothing's really resolved. I mean, the girl gets away, and she's like hysterical
Oh, that's
on the back of that truck, and she's probably mentally broken forever, and he's just spinning around with his
it's a
chainsaw.
great ending. It's a great
God,
ending.
it's one of the best endings, and it's and like I said, it's not really resolved. I mean, like I said, she got away,
No,
but
it
she's
just and
also
then
like
it just drops to black.
it just drops black, and it's just like
Fabulous. I yeah, that
uh,
I wasn't quite sure what I thought about that movie the first time I saw it, but I knew I loved the ending.
yeah,
Yeah. And God bless Marilyn Burns, the
and
greatest screamer in the history of motion pictures.
and
Marilyn Burns.
she
That's
deserved a medal for the physical aspect of that film too.
absolutely,
God bless her
absolutely.
heart.
Yep. See, that's the thing. It always kills me when like yeah, I guess I'm sure Marilyn Burns has a fan club for that, based on that movie.
Oh yeah.
But it's well deserved. Have you ever seen a French horror film called High Tension?
No, because I don't like the French extremist horror. I do not like that genre.
Okay,
It's
and
too
I was
violent
just
for me. But
it's that's
yeah,
an insanely violent movie,
yeah.
and I didn't particularly like it, but I was compelled to keep watching it. And that's one of those movies that has like a twist at the end, like, what? Are you serious? Like for me, it kind of just wrecked the whole movie. But
Yeah.
I'm sure other people, as they say, other people's mileage will vary. And one film I do want to mention that is so unique. Again, I don't know why I guess this whole idea of twists and things, um, they tend to be more essential in horror movies than they are in noir films. Uh, but a film that I saw that I will probably never watch again, but and I didn't realize it. It's not a twist, but it's so unique. Is Gaspar Noé's Irreversible?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
No.
You're not gonna watch that.
I'm not gonna watch it. I know how it ends though. I mean, I know the structure of the story, but I just know that's like one of those things. Like I just
But
take
yeah. I mean, it's not a pleasant experience. None of Gaspar Noé's films are pleasant experiences, nor should they be. Based on what he chooses to make. I mean,
yeah.
he is drawn to super dark, disturbing material, and he gives it his all. And there's like no way out of those situations. But
I think on the positive side of that, even though I don't particularly care for those type of films, I do like it. If you're doing a serious film about something violent happening, I do respect making the violence really terrible. I just don't want to
yeah, you
watch
should
it.
never make
But
it palatable. You should
but I
never make it
respect
palatable.
but I respect that.
Yeah.
That you're showing how terrible
Yeah,
violence
there's
is.
sex and violence in that movie that is unlike anything I've seen. The murder that starts the film is like, I can't believe I just watched. Did I just see that? I mean, is that even possible? What just happened? And then Monica Bellucci's rape scene in that film is the most excruciating, whatever, 10 minutes or something, single shot. It's like it's hell. It's like hell watching that. But man, the structure of that movie is inventive and tragic. I mean, by the
Yeah.
time that movie ends, you're just, it's soul crushing to get to the end of that movie, and have it end the way it does. That was like a twist that's it's not a gimmicky twist. It's just like he gets this amazing twist by just structuring the film backwards.
Yeah.
So that it's like you're watching all the reels of a movie in reverse order.
Yeah.
And until you get to the beginning. And when you get to the beginning and it's like, today's going to be a day like today is the best day of my life. And then no, it's not. Yeah, that was really something. Okay. Before I get depressed, let's move on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. It's time for the lightning round.
It was time for the lightning round. This is from our friend Bob in San Francisco. I recently read about a new 4K 70th anniversary edition of the big combo set to be released soon. I saw it at TCM. That the restoration is beautiful. You did a commentary for the 2018 Blu-ray release. Well, will the new edition include that original commentary, or did you provide new material for this release? You referred to a Noir. How do you say that? Noir archaeologist?
Noirchaeologist. Noirchaeologist, yeah.
Archaeologist in the credits, which I like.
I honestly don't know. I know that I was asked to write something for that release, an introduction for it, which I did. But I have to be honest, I don't know if they're importing the commentary track I did for a previous release or not. I don't know. I have no idea. Would you be surprised to learn that I have never listened to an audio commentary that I've done?
That does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, you do them and then you send them in and is that okay? They go, yeah. And it's like, good. I'll never deal with that again. Yeah. So I have no idea if it's going to be on the film or not. I remember my commentary track for that movie, though, being, I thought it was really good, but it wasn't effusive in its praise for the film. Because I got a little more into the weeds, kind of dissecting how Joe Lewis was shooting stuff in that movie. And as I really, really watched the movie more closely, I started seeing how much time pressure he was under to shoot the film. Because having done research on how the film was made and the fact that Cornell Wilde was the producer and they didn't have a lot of money, and Jack Palance walked away from the film and Richard Conte came in and kind of bailed him out, I realized that they had this super short shooting schedule. Yeah. And then when I started watching the film scene by scene, it was obvious that, he's doing all this in static shots without any cuts because they don't have any time to do different camera setups. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now because this is supposed to be the lightning round.
But I think it's a tribute to John Alton about how good that film looks anyway.
Oh my God, John Alton! John Alton is the hero
of that movie. That was the right person for that job because that film looks way better than it would have otherwise.
Absolutely, and Alton is actually lighting various parts of the set with the knowledge that Lewis isn't going to change the camera setup. So he's like, okay, I got to move focus here and there and all this stuff. I mean, it's just a brilliant example of the cinematographer's art. Yeah. Anyway, this is the lightning round. Let's move on.
Okay, Bob, I've noticed that you've been filming your intros and outros in that sterile Atlanta set of late. Will you be returning to Bar 355 at all in the coming year? I've lived in San Francisco and made a pilgrimage to Bar 355 with my friends. They make a pretty good old fashioned.
Didn't we do that one? We did that question.
Oh, really?
I think we did it last time.
No. The thing with last time was I thought about the set.
Oh, well, anyway, if people watched Who Killed Teddy Bear on TCM last week, then they know that I'm back at Bar 355. Okay, and I will be there. I think for the rest of this year, all the Noir Alley shows for the rest of this year will be at Bar 355.
Okay, that's especially appropriate for Who Killed Teddy Bear. This is Dennis in Duluth. Any updates on the publication dates of the Sterling Hayden bio?
Well, waiting. As I was just telling Ann before we came on the air, I am taking receipt of many copies of the book at my warehouse on Monday, so they will be available very, very soon.
Great. From Panita, what is the actual address of the house in Santa Rosa, California, where Alfred Hitchcock's movie Beyond the Shadow of a Doubt was filmed?
It's not called Beyond a Shadow of a Doubt. It's just Shadow of a Doubt.
Yes.
And I don't know. Okay. I'm sure somebody watching this knows because it was an actual house that they used for the exterior of the but I don't know the address.
And there's a ton of websites to do film locations, so you should be able to Google that pretty easily.
Yeah, the more pertinent question is the house still there? Yeah, is the house still there, and does it still look the same? Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool that Hitchcock went there to shoot that movie. I think it was, and he utilized Santa Rosa very, very well.
Okay, this is from Eric, our friend Eric. I'm not going to say his last name. Did Walter Slezak put the word sleaze into our vocabulary?
No. Walter Slezak, as it's actually pronounced. No, he is not responsible for that. And I want you to know that Erica Slezak, his daughter, did you ever watch soap operas, Anne? Erica Slezak was like the grande dame of All My Children.
Yeah,
the ABC soap opera. That was Walter Slezak's daughter, Erica,
wow.
who, and I swear to God, she was on that show for maybe
forever.
30 years, 30 or years or more.
Yeah.
I only really know this because I have a very good friend, Dennis Parlato, who was a major character on One Life to Live for a number of years. He played the villainous rich man. He played Trump basically on All My Children. He was the sleazy rich dude. Michael Grand was his name.
Yeah.
And Kathleen and I used to watch. We would record it every day and then watch that day's All My Children during dinner, just to see what Dennis was up to, and then we'd tease him about his shenanigans.
Oh, but this
we were out having
soap. That's the best role to have, though.
Oh, you got to be the villain. You got to be the villain. Yeah, and it was funny because Dennis was visiting us one time, and we went out to dinner, and this whole group of Black women recognized him from the show, and they were like, just, we hate you. We hate you. It was pretty fun.
That's quite a compliment if you think about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did his character ever do the heel face turn, or was he?
No, I think he was bad. I think he was bad the whole time. Yeah.
I'm sorry, my phone started vibrating, guys. My apologies. I thought I had turned that off, so it didn't do that. Okay, nor not the little foxes.
Not.
Okay.
That's the way the lightning round is supposed to work.
That's the way
a one-word answer.
One-word answer. Okay. Even though I did bring a Stan Duryea to Hollywood, so thank you.
Yes.
Diplomatic Courier.
Haven't seen it. Don't know.
Haven't seen it either. The Alan Ladd starring version of The Great Gatsby.
Honorary noir status, because the changes made to the novel are all noir-related changes. So I'm giving that honorary status. And I'll have you know that the next issue, I think the next issue of the Noir City magazine has an article about that very thing.
Oh, okay, great.
I think the Noir or Not article is on The Great Gatsby, is on Alan Ladd's Great Gatsby.
Yeah, and so, if you guys don't know, how do they get Noir City magazine?
You sign up for the mailing list first. You go to the Film Noir Foundation website, filmnoirfoundation.org, and you sign up for our mailing list. And then once you do that, and we've captured that information, then you go and to our contributors page, and you donate $20 or more to the foundation, and we'll send you the digital copy of the Noir City magazine every month. Not every month, I'm sorry. Every time it comes out, which we try to do 4 times a year. We don't always make it, but 3 or 4 times a year. And you will get that as your perk for being a donor to the Film Noir Foundation. And then, Anne, might there be a print version of that magazine?
There is a print version, which you can buy on Amazon. And if you go to the filmnoirfoundation.org, there's a Noir City magazine page. If you go there, there's a link to each print edition, so that you don't have to scroll around. You don't have to scroll around Amazon.
You can buy the back issues and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you get and the print issues. What number did it start with? Did it start with?
Oh my God, I don't know, but it blows my mind to think how many issues we have published.
It's really scary when you look at it.
It's because I can remember sitting where I am right now, right here, I was sitting right here when I talked to our designer, Michael Cronenberg, about the first print edition of the magazine. Like, are we really going to do this? Is there a reason to do this as a print thing? And now I think we've got something like 40 some odd issues now, and it's just amazing.
And we
So
have digital back issues of all of them starting when we went to North City Magazine. So if they're not print editions available, there's always digital editions of the ones that we did before we started doing print versions.
yes, because originally the what we now call a magazine originally started out as a newsletter. So it was like 4 pages, then it grew from that, then it grew a little bit bigger. And we collected all of those articles in these annual volumes that we would put out. But once it became a magazine, that was a totally different thing. It was like 80 to 100 pages every issue. And anyway, it's
there you go.
There you go.
Back to
Again,
Noir or Not.
This is the lightning round. Let's go.
7 Days in May.
Not. Which I just introduced on TCM, and I watched, and it's good film.
Yeah.
Those were the days when the idea of a military coup was, like, oh, beware the military. Now I'm kind of rooting for one.
Funny how things change. Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I get why people would include it as a film noir. I mean, the paranoia aspect of it. I mean, it's a science fiction movie. It's not a film noir, but it's a noir stained science fiction movie.
Yeah, and I think like John Carpenter's the Thing, a lot of the story isn't really about the sci-fi part of it. It's really about the tension and the paranoia.
Yeah, but let's face it, shape-shifting creatures from another world are not really part of film noir.
Correct. They are sci-fi.
It's like superheroes in latex suits. The movies can be noir influenced, but they are not noir themselves.
Okay. And this is neo-noir or Not, The Counselor.
Oh, The Counselor. Yeah. I mean, that is clearly Cormac McCarthy's riff on like a noir kind of story. But so is No Country for Old Men. I mean, and it is interesting how a lot of these very, very acclaimed literary authors, they love their genre fiction. They love using it as the bedrock for their more literary aspirations, let's say. But The Counselor was just a straight screenplay that he wrote, and I didn't particularly enjoy the movie. It seemed very fragmented and weird, but man, they attracted a lot of good people to that film, and I just don't think it holds together all that well. But that wasn't the question. The answer is yes. I'm going to go for a neo-noir. The Counselor as a neo-noir film.
Marathon Man.
Interesting. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again. I mean, to me, that was a thriller. That's a thriller.
Yeah.
And the protagonist is so innocent in the film that I don't know where the noir aspects of it really come in. So I'm gonna kind of punt on that one. What do you think? You got an opinion? When was the last time you saw The Marathon Man?
Many moons ago.
Likewise.
To me, it almost borders on like horror sci-fi because of the plot that's uncovered during the course of the film, the nature of the plot, and then also that friggin' dental scene.
Yeah.
With the root canal, that to me crossed it over beyond.
Yeah, I hear you. I'd never. I mean, it's just interesting. I'd never even entertained the notion of The Marathon Man if it is called, I think it's just called Marathon Man, not The Marathon
I
Man.
think it's just Marathon Man. Yeah.
I had never thought of it in terms of noir.
Yeah.
But I'll watch it again one of these days. I remember really liking William Devane in that film. I
It
mean, I
does
know
have
Olivier and Dustin Hoffman,
yeah,
but I was a big William Devane fan.
I love William Devane. And yeah, but it does have that kind of Woolrich feel to it of someone like innocent being caught up in this horrible
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
beyond their control that they didn't ask for.
yeah. So I mean, I'd go back. I mean, it's interesting. I think at what point you do have to kind of at a certain point, you know, have some demarcation here between
Oh,
like a cop movie and a thriller movie, and they can't all be noir. You know,
exactly.
uh, so Marathon Man to me was like a thriller.
Yeah.
Um, anyway,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since it came out, so what do I know?
I haven't seen it in years. The Ice Harvest.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely a film noir.
Okay. Cool. This is our friend Alan. What is your favorite movie that takes place on a train?
Well, as a noir, of course, it's The Narrow Margin, but I also like The Tall Target. Anthony Mann's The Tall Target, which is really great. And my favorite train movie is probably The Train. John Frankenheimer's The
God, I
Train.
still need to see that.
Uh, yeah,
Ah,
I just really, and I'm assuming Alan's question is like takes place on a train.
yeah.
Most of the action in Narrow March takes place on a train. The train absolutely takes place on a train. I, of course, love Buster Keaton's The General, a lot of which takes place on a train.
Yeah.
One of the great train movies of all time. There's a great picture called Avalanche Express that takes place on a train with John Voight and Eric Roberts. That's a good one. No, that's not Avalanche Express. It's on my Abe Polanski did the screen. It's Runaway Train is the one with John Voight and Eric Roberts,
Yeah.
which Akira Kurosawa actually wrote the original story for. That's a pretty great movie. They're 20th century is these aren't noir films. These aren't
Yeah.
all
He,
noir
did, he, did, he
films, but
didn't say it. And of course, the Murder on the Orient Express, the one from
Murder on the Orient
1978,
Express, which
which is an incredible use of the train as a location.
absolutely, and
Is
a
integral
great
to the
cast.
story.
It was
Oh God, yeah.
that's yeah, I enjoyed that movie very much. Man, Jeffrey Unsworth's cinematography and the fabulous cast, and I'd like to watch that movie again.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I get in moods where it's like when I want because I love cold weather films, and that's like probably my favorite cold weather film. That's set. I especially love I love thrillers set in snowed in locations. That's like one
Yeah,
of my favorite things because I just love it.
yep.
So our next question is from Bob.
Why did you have a favorite on a train?
Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, Murder on the Orient Express.
But
Okay.
I think kind of one of my favorite train things, it doesn't take place all on a train though, is La Bête Humane.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, that one popped into my mind.
But it's not like it's not.
The opening sequence is one of the
Yeah,
great train sequences of all time.
yeah,
But it starts and ends on the train,
yeah,
but most of the action does not take place on a train.
yeah. Because when we screened that and the opening part came up, I'm like, I'm buying this for my brother Sean for his birthday
Yeah.
this year because he's a huge train fan. And I thought,
Yep.
He's just gonna love this.
It's funny. I just wrote about that for this. It's one of the movies that I'm writing about in the international noir book I'm doing with Imogen, and I write extensively just about that opening scene and how it is the raison d'être for that film's existence because Jean Gabin wanted to be an engineer on a train. That's what was his childhood dream, and so they made the movie because he was such a big star. He'd become such a huge star in France that he wanted to make adapt that book just because of the trains. Yeah, and it was like, as long as I get to run the train, everything else will be fine. Don't worry about it.
And my brother Sean would have made the exact same decision.
There you go.
For the exact same reason. Because, my grandfather was a fireman on a train. And he had like a train engine in his backyard in New Franklin. And my brother just became obsessed with trains.
Wow.
From that point on. Yeah, my mother, as a very poor little girl, got to go to California and other places because he got to ride the trains for free.
It's amazing. I think the fascination with the train is when you climb on a locomotive and you get a sense of the power and like this massive piece of machinery
Amazing.
Can move so fast that it's like terrifying.
Yeah.
And that's what they capture in that first scene of La Bête Humaine that is so extraordinary. Like the Fritz Lang remake, there's nothing like Renoir's version of the film. And that scene alone is, oh man, I love it. Okay,
and this is Bob from Morristown, New Jersey. What do you think of The Big Bluff, 1955, and do you plan to show it on Noir Alley? Martha Vickers is always worth watching.
I agree. Tragically gone too soon, Martha Vickers. I think she was only like 40 something, 45, 46 years old when she died. Yeah, if it was available, I would definitely show it. It's not a great film, but it's one of the few films. This is interesting. And how many films can you think of that were remade by the same person writing and directing the films? Because the Big Bluff was originally made, I'm thinking 47 or 48, by W. Lee Wilder, Billy Wilder's brother, as The Glass Alibi. And then he remade it like 7 or 8 years later as The Big Bluff. Can you think of any other movies where a filmmaker made the film again?
Yeah, there is a Danish film actually that, I'm sorry, Ole, and I cannot remember Ole's last name, called Night Watch, which is a great film, and he remade it in the US. And he actually directed the American remake of it.
What's it called?
Night Watch.
Night Watch. Okay.
Yeah, so
that's interesting
because a guy who gets a job at a morgue and gets crossed up with a murderer.
Because that's interesting. George Slezak also did one, The Vanishing. The Vanishing. You've seen that, right?
Yeah, he do the
and he did the American remake.
Oh, wow.
He did the American remake with Jeff Bridges and Kiefer Sutherland, which under no circumstances is anyone to watch the American remake. Apologies to the actors, but the original Vanishing is one of the scariest movies ever made. And the American remake screws it all up. Yeah. But back in the classic era, there was a film called Fear in the Night, a Cornell Woolrich story that Maxwell Shane did as a B film for United Artists or something. And then he remade it in 1955 as Nightmare.
Nightmare, yeah.
With Edward G. Robinson and Kevin McCarthy. Yeah, same guy, same story.
Yeah.
He just did it again. Yeah. Anyway, that's my long way around answering Bob from Morristown, New Jersey's question about The Big Bluff. Which, if it becomes available to show on Noir Alley, I would probably show it. The question is, would I show both The Glass Alibi and The Big Bluff back to back and say, can you believe it? It's the same movie by the same guy. Okay, here we go. Hang on. I just goofed up my whole page here. This is not the way this is supposed to work.
I can't see around you.
Okay, here we go. This is an interesting one. After several weeks of tortured reflection accompanied by countless martinis, I can no longer allow this endless speculation regarding my gender to fester in this darkest corner of the internet. Consider this my noir gender reveal. I, in fact, identify as male. I'm sensing that this is someone whom we've discussed.
Yes. Every time you say Brit, you always say, "I wonder if it's
okay,
a man
Brit.
or a woman."
I can't tell if Brit's a man or a woman. So Brit is doing the gender reveal. I, in fact, identify as male. Down these mean streets, a man with a kind of femme name must go. Listen, I get it. Brit is a bit of an androgynous name. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Speaking of which, the topic of androgyny in classic film noir, nice segue, Brit, might be a good topic for discussion on the show. I know there are a couple examples of androgynous or gender fluid characters in neo-noir, but are there any examples in classic noir? Your thoughts, Eddie? And Ask Eddie viewers? That's thank you, Britt, for that reveal. Now we know that Brit is and I thought, see, I know a couple of Brits. Yeah. I know Brits and I know Brits. And the Brits I know are women. So now I know a Brit, indirectly, who's a guy. Okay, so androgyny in classic noir. That's a okay, go.
Mercedes McCambridge in Touch of Evil.
Okay, I'm not going to say no to that, but I'm kind of, yeah. I mean, forgive me for being stupid in answering this question, but how do we define androgyny in this question, right?
Yeah.
Is it when you can't tell because the character seems to be equally male and female?
Yeah, because the first time I saw that movie, I didn't realize that I just thought she was a boy.
Okay, so I mean that's what we're talking about. We're not really talking about like, gay characters or anything. It's just like you can't tell if it's a man or a woman. I good one on Mercedes McCambridge and Touch of Evil, but I have to tell you, beyond that, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. I can't think of any others.
If someone, like, if it was a man, he's effeminate, he's coded as gay. If it's a woman, she's masculine, they're being coded as that. Of course. So that's the only character I could think of that, like I said, like when I actually first saw that film, I didn't realize that was a woman.
Yeah, and it also helps because Mercedes McCambridge had the huskiest voice.
Yeah, exactly.
In the movies, tell
from the voice,
so you can't. The voice is no giveaway.
Like the voice came out and it's like, oh, it's a woman. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So I mean, I wish I could come up with some startling. Oh, you've got to see this or that, but honestly, I can't think of a movie. In the classic era. Every movie starring David Bowie, right? Yeah, I mean,
yeah. But what's her name? The Scotswoman. She's real blonde and fair and tall.
Tilda?
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton. Yeah. Who's made a movie with David Bowie where they switched roles, that's
because
yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had more for you, Britt. In this case, your question was the highlight. The answers were poor. Your question was the highlight. Great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. Stephanie from San Antonio, Texas. I noticed last week that you briefly mentioned Hindi films when someone asked if there are international femme fatales. Can you speak more about femme fatales in Hindi movies that you can recall, or just Indian noirs that you liked in general? I am a fan of Indian movies from all the way across the world in Texas, and noir, obviously, so I wanted to hear you elaborate. Also, this is my first time sitting in a question, but I'm a longtime viewer, so just wanted to say I appreciate the great discussions you two have every week. Your show is essential viewing for me on Fridays.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much, Stephanie. If only we did it every week.
I know.
Boy, I must have mentioned some. I forget when I mentioned the Hindi films, but do not mistake me for some expert on Hindi cinema, because I am not. I have seen probably I'm going to say like 4 Hindi movies. And once I kind of figured out what they were all about, and from the classic era, it's tough because they're so long. The
Yeah.
films are so long. It's like, oh my God, am I really going to commit to this 3-hour movie? But oh well. Now, okay, I have to tell you, my favorite uh example of a, and it's not from the classic era. It's like early 2000s. But so it's a neo-noir Hindi film. Is a movie with the unfortunate or maybe fortunate title Jism, which in Hindi I have learned translates as body, right? In American slang, it's something else entirely. And it's body heat. I mean, I don't know if the makers of this film, clearly they were doing body heat. I don't know if they realized they were doing Double Indemnity,
Yeah.
right? Uh, and it's like body heat with music.
Yeah.
It's like a musical version of body heat is basically what it is. And that is the only Hindi femme fatale character that I know of. But apparently the actress in that movie, her name is Bipasha Basu. Bipasha Basu. She was like a Hindi sex symbol. She's beautiful, absolutely beautiful woman. And she plays the Kathleen Turner slash Lana Turner role in that movie, which is pretty funny because like in Body Heat, where William Hurt throws the chair through the glass door and goes in to get her, that scene is in this movie, only they start singing.
Yeah.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Evidently, and I've seen a tiny bit of it, but there's a Hindi Nightmare on Elm Street, which I would love if it actually got subtitled at some point, but it's probably not going to happen because it's probably a copyright thing because I don't think they can release it in the States. But it was so funny. So I saw a little bit of it, and these teenagers all look like they're 30. It was even worse than usual for a horror film.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly the extent of my knowledge. Something else to look forward to exploring, I would certainly watch more of Bipashu Basu's movies. She's pretty great. I don't think she's acting still, but she was pretty good.
All right, this is our last question. This is from our Michael from Post Falls, Idaho.
Thank you, Michael.
After finishing Eddie's terrific revised edition of Dark City Dames, I watched The Grand Inquisitor on YouTube and enjoyed Marsha Hunt's masterful performance at 90. I was curious if Zodiac, released the year before based on Robert Graysmith's book, was Eddie's inspiration for coming up with the story behind his short film.
Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. And for the record, Marsha was 92 when she made that film with me. So no, Zodiac was not really the inspiration, although I loved that movie. It's still my favorite David Fincher movie. The inspiration was actually finding those books. Because if you've seen the movie, you know that the character of Lulu finds these books and she believes they belong to the Zodiac. And that actually was a real thing. A guy, Jim Silva, who had a bookstore where I live, invited me into the back room one day and showed me a box of books. And he said, I'm not going to say anything. I just want you to sit here and look at these books for a while and tell me what you think. And I went through them and, thumbed through and it was a mind-blowing experience because I said, I think these books may have belonged to the Zodiac killer because of all the marginalia and and I grew up in the Bay Area, so I grew up knowing all about the Zodiac. I remember when the reign of terror was happening and the Chronicle was publishing, his ciphers in the newspaper and all that stuff. I lived through that. So this was nothing new to me. So when I saw the books, it was like, holy cow, this could actually be the guy. So in truth, I mean, before I ever thought about making that film, we thought about turning the books over to the police and seeing if it could somehow be germane to the case, and figuring out who owned these books and where did they come from, and everything in the movie is stuff that we actually did. Just like the woman in the movie who says, I took them to the police and they said this and that and blah blah blah. We went through that entire experience, and then when the police were not interested, I said, well, I've invested too much time and energy in this, so I'll just write it as a short story. And then out of the short story, my friend Jonathan Marlowe said, when I had Marcia at Noir City, I think it was the 5th festival or something. And immediately when she got off stage, he said, you should show your short story to Marcia. She'd be great to play the character. And that's how it happened. And then Marcia read the story and she agreed to do it. And that's why we made the film.
Jonathan and I worked at Scarecrow together.
I know. So I saw Jonathan. It was really too bad. This kind of stuff. It's what's great about my life and not so great about my life is I saw Jonathan when I was in Seattle at Noir City.
Yeah.
A month and a half ago or something. And I saw him in the audience and acknowledged him, but I never actually got to talk to him. Things just pull everybody in different directions. But yeah, Jonathan, who ended up being the director of photography on the film, on the Grand Inquisitor, but he's doing all kinds of stuff now. Yeah. And his wife Hannah edited the film.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They were wonderful collaborators.
Okay, so I just want to say really quickly, since we're at the end, I saw a film called Undertone last week. I actually blew off seeing something else. I had taken the day off so I could go to a couple movies. I wound up blowing off the two I was originally going to see and decided to see this one instead, which I'm really glad I did. It is excellent. It is a
Undertone.
It's a horror film about a woman who is living with her mother who is dying, is in hospice in her house. And she has a paranormal podcast that she does with her partner who's in London. And they get sent these like anonymous files. Which of course they decide to open as a recording to, make content. And it's just like, yeah, okay. But it has seriously the best sound design I have ever heard in a film.
Wow. Okay.
And it's totally used to tell the story. It's incredibly effective. And this film was only made for $500,000. Wow. Which really blew me away. And then even though I knew it was low budget because it was set in one location. There's just stuff, they always do with a horror film to get it under. But with that set, with the sounds design, I was not expecting that their budget was that low. And it played at a fest, got into a bidding war, and A24 put it out. So if you guys had the chance to see it in a theater, I would highly recommend it because of the sound design. It sounded fantastic in the theater. I saw it at the Apple Theater at Van Ness. And it is a slow burn, like a lot of supernatural films are, but unlike a lot of other supernatural films nowadays, one, it's not found footage, thank God, so it's shot really well, and two, the ending has a great payoff. Like it pays off at the end. It's not great. Like Blair Witch Project, where there's a guy standing in the corner after we've spent an hour and a half listening to people argue about maps.
Don't spoil the end of that movie for people. But it is interesting that you cite Blair Witch in a discussion about great sound in a movie, because that the story behind Blair Witch Project is that
they redid the sound.
They redid the entire soundtrack because they said we can live with the amateurish. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
is that it's found footage and everything, but it's the soundtrack that's going to scare people.
Yeah.
and they were right.
Yeah, and in this film, because you never see her partner that's in London that she does a podcast with, but evidently they replaced the actor. A24 when they bought it, they replaced the actor and someone else did it. And I thought his voice performance was really good. I mean,
have you seen Surat? Have you seen Surat?
No.
No, that people have said that's just the most amazing film. Some people I know have seen it and said it might be the best film they've ever seen. The most intense film, the most intense film they've ever seen.
Yeah. I saw the preview for it and stuff, and it's like, that looks really good, but I don't know if I can handle it. Yeah. I'm such a baby.
We'll I haven't seen it, so we'll talk about that one at some point. The only thing I've seen, and then we'll bring it in for a landing. The only thing I've watched lately, and this was a found thing, we go through our MHZ channel, and we stumbled across this new Finnish television series called Crime on Your Mind, which is a comedy.
I have that saved in my list. I'm going to watch that next.
All right. Then I'm not going to spoil anything. I mean, we watched the whole thing. It was very enjoyable. It's a comedy.
Yeah.
With violent criminal undertones. And I enjoyed it because the central character is a writer who is the perfect example of everybody's worst image of a writer. Right. I can't remember the actor's name who plays the part, but he is the most despicable, unethical, horrid example of a writer imaginable. And I found that very, very entertaining. And his foil in the film is a criminal, right? An ex-con who the plot of the movie is this writer who is struggling with writer's block and hasn't had a successful novel in several years. He steals this guy's manuscript, who's an ex-con who taught himself how to write in prison. I don't know who this guy thinks he is, that's a good idea to steal a criminal's manuscript. But the criminal is Jussi Vatanen, who was the lead in Fallen Leaves, Kaurismäki's Fallen Leaves, which I loved. And he's one of those actors who does absolutely nothing on screen. Nothing, no emoting, nothing. And he is utterly compelling.
Yeah.
He's just great in this part, And so it was, I'm not going to say anything more about it. My feelings about streaming series. It's 8 episodes. It's 3 episodes too many.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite, for me, stick the landing. But it was definitely worth watching. The episodes aren't all an hour long, so it's not like 8 hours. But it was pretty amusing.
All right. And just so people know, it's been announced that Midnight Diner is getting a new season.
Yes. Thank you. You somebody I think sent that to you, and you forwarded it on to me.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, it was on the Reddit Midnight Diner.
I had no idea that there were movies made.
Yeah, they're good. I wound up buying it. I bought the import.
Yeah, I haven't seen them, so I'm gonna have to check that out because we've talked about that many times, how much we love Master.
Yes.
And his minimal menu and his wonderful clientele. Okay, we did it.
There we go. We
put another one to bed, Anne.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you in another 2 weeks. I'll try to get us. I want to make sure we record another one before Eddie goes because Eddie has 2 weekends in Hollywood with North City Hollywood.
Yeah, those are coming up.
April 3rd through 5th and 10th through
10th through the 12th.
10th through the 12th.
3rd to the 5th and 10th to the 12th. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really looking forward to that. So I hope I see a lot of folks at the Egyptian Theater for those.
All right. Yeah, because this will actually be playing. I guess this is playing the night before the opening.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, this is playing on the 2nd. So yeah,
Okay, hope I see you there. And always good to see you.
good to see you too.
It was nice to see some Bruno tail or something. I mean, I was afraid they were more active before we came on the air, and I
Yes.
was afraid they were going to get really rambunctious and try to hijack the show. But they were very well behaved.
No, Bruno got in my lap, and then Lino was up here trying to get my attention because his brother was in my lap.
Okay,
But it
well
was all off screen.
go play with those kids now.
I will.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.